Hello, this is Dave from ERC, and I'm back because I don't know why. I'm just back in all my beauty in essence, okay? But what I want to talk about is the problem with the Mavic Mini orientation display. I got to make sure I'm looking at the camera. Yeah. And I want to talk about the solutions, and it's twofold. One is you need to get the cell phone away from the Mavic Mini controller, and the best way to do that is with one of these cell phone mounts. And I've got two different ones here. And I'm not going to review these right now because I've got another video on that. And I'll put a link up in the corner and down in the description on the review on these. They don't cost too much, but they do have slightly different sizes and the way it'll stretch out. But they both will work. So that's the first solution. Get the cell phone away from the controller so the compass isn't affected by the magnet in the speaker in the controller. And the other thing you can do, actually you need to do, is before takeoff there's a little preparation in calibrating the cell phone and then getting the controller with the cell phone on it away from the Mavic Mini but behind it when you initialize and get ready to fly. And I'll show you how to do that later. But for now, let's just go to the bench and I'll just show you these two devices here. So here's the two phone holders right here. And this one has a solid aluminum base, so there's no interference with anything with the compass in the phone. No magnetics in there or anything. This is also aluminum, but it's hollowed out to make it a little bit lighter. Okay, so let's go through the setup process, and the first thing we need to do is calibrate the compass on the phone. Now you could calibrate it in the holder, but it's not really necessary because the holder doesn't have any iron in it or anything that affects the phone or the compass, so you can do it separate from the controller. So let's calibrate the phone. First thing we need to do is find our compass app, and you can pick any one you want. I'm using the 3D compass, and there it is, right there. Now to calibrate it, it's got a feature right up here in the middle. You press and then you just go like this until it's calibrated, and then you click OK, and then you can kind of tell yourself, if you know where north is, you can see if it worked out well. If it didn't, then you just do it again. You might have to have a regular magnet type compass handy if you don't know where north is, just to make sure that you're getting it right. Also in the settings, you need to go in, excuse me, not there, but settings. You need to go in and make sure your heading is on true heading or true north instead of magnetic north. So just make sure you got that, and then you should be all set. Okay, next you can go ahead and put the phone into the phone holder, and then go ahead and hook up the cable. So just put the cable in the side, and then I bring it around and plug it in to the phone. Now we can turn on the controller. Let's just see if it's working. There we go. All right, we're outside now getting ready to fly. So the first thing we need to do is make sure there's no metal around where we're going to put the drone. And my table over here does have some metal, but I think the upper rim may be aluminum. I don't know. It hasn't been giving me trouble in the past. We'll just hope that it isn't now. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and set the controller down here facing towards the drone. Keep it in the orientation that it should be when I'm flying. I'll go over and start the drone. Okay, so the Mavic Mini is now started. Coming back over to the controller. And notice the Mavic Mini is facing away from me and I'm behind it. I'm just waiting for it to connect. There it is. Alright, now we'll go fly. All right, let's see what we got so far. Let the app start up here. Okay, it's claiming compass calibration. It's probably because it's on that table. Let's see what happens if I just move the drone off the table. Put it over here. See what we got now. Let's see if I can just take off here. All right, there we go.
Point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
All right. So now the orientation display looks pretty good. It's a little bit off. I'm not sure if, oh yeah, well, we can turn the phone. Does that help? Yeah. I turn the phone a little bit. That's one thing. I just rotated the phone a little bit because I didn't want to go through it all again. But yeah, it's out in front of the drone now, and it's looking pretty good. But you can see it's quite a bit of trouble just to get this thing set up. And the compass calibration thing went away. I think that was because of the table. So no metal around it when you're doing it. So going up. All right, let's just go out there a ways. All right, I'll record a little video just to see if that affects it any. Okay, drone is recording. All right, let's just rotate it around and we'll just watch the orientation display. So I'm rotating the drone. You can see the drone turning, and now it should be facing back towards me. And you can see it is. There, I'm standing right there, and I got the antennas aimed at it. So it helps you to orientate the antennas towards the drone, which is kind of handy, but usually the pilot will know where the drone is. But if it's a long way away, you might not. You might be just guessing, so the orientation display helps. Now what I want to do is I'm going to rotate it back around so it's aimed at me. Alright, so it should be right about there. Turn the camera down a little bit, see if we can see. Yeah, aimed right at me. Now what I want to do is fly behind me, and we'll see what the orientation display does. Here we go. Coming back. It's way up there, so I don't think there's any danger. Alright, getting over the top. Alright, just went over the top of my, and you can see that. See how that flipped around? Now the orientation display is down the bottom, and the drone's flying away from that center dot. Now we'll fly back forward. We'll see what it does. There, it's coming around. Okay, I guess when it's back behind you, you can't really see the direction of the drone, maybe? I think that's the issue. All right. There goes a golf cart. 2 golf carts. All right, let's fly back. What I want to do now is I'm going to get back behind myself again. There goes overhead. It's really booking. Get it behind me. All right, now I'm going to turn my body around facing the drone. And there you can see the arrow because I'm facing the drone. Now I know my antennas are toward the drone, even though there's a house in the way. Now I can rotate the drone back around. I can see the direction now that it's in front of me. And I can fly back. Back a little more. And we're back. Okay, so that was a pretty good thing. The orientation display is still working, even though it's on the pad now. Go figure. So I think the important thing is to get behind the drone with your controller before you initialize. the drone. See, I put the controller down on the seat, walked up and initialized the drone so it was still facing the drone and far enough away from it, and then that seemed to work. And staying away from metal objects too. So in closing, I think it's interesting that DJI actually used the cell phone to make the orientation display work. It seems like they could have used the information or data coming back from the drone, because they're using it for the map that's down in the lower left-hand corner. When you bring the map up, it shows you which way the drone's orientated and how far away it is and all that kind of stuff. So it's already on the map on the phone without actually using the phone's compass. It's getting data from the drone. So why didn't they just do the same thing for the orientation display? Use that same data stream to run the orientation display so you didn't have to rely on the cell phone. I believe that could be done in a firmware upgrade, but I might be wrong. I don't know all the internals of the software and all that, but it just seems like it'd be easier to do it that way than try to use a phone which is unreliable. In fact, some phones don't even work because the magnet on the speaker inside the controller interferes with the phone, and therefore you have to get it away. And that's why I'm using these phone holders to move the phone away. But it's just crazy. I think they could have done a whole lot better job on that, and I think they could fix it. That's the whole thing. I think they could upgrade the firmware on the drone in the Fly app to actually use that data stream to run the orientation display. But that's just my thoughts. You can let me know what you think under the video, but it sure seems possible to me. But anyway, we did get it to work. It's a little bit of fuss and bother, but when you do get it to work, it's kind of handy. All right, this is Dave signing out. See you next time.